Hey, my name is Ivan and I'm an artist. So yesterday I made a post on the Reddit showing this birds drawing I made, like a small study of a bird, you know, how they fly in, the shapes, a little bit of anatomy, some sketches, stuff like that. And some people actually really liked it. So they asked me questions like how I did it, what kind of materials I used, what kind of techniques I used, and so maybe I should have made a video like explaining the process behind and how actually I'm doing what I'm doing. So, and I thought, what is next? What is after the birds? I definitely don't want to fill the whole sketchbook with the birds. So what is next? And today in the morning I woke up and I thought jellyfish. I don't know why, just suddenly jellyfish. And I thought, yeah, that's a cool idea because they are so different from everything else. You know, the shapes, the fluidity of lines, like they are so much out of this world, such magnificent creatures, and it should be a good study as well because, you know, the proportions and again the fluidity, the shapes and everything. And for this one I used the fountain pen and this the brush pen which is basically filled with the diluted ink, and it creates this gray tone, gray value, you know. So I thought, okay, maybe it will look very dirty on the jellyfish, so I need something blue. And actually a few days ago I got this the fountain pen. It calls Lamy Nex, but it actually have this you know, the cartridge, and it's almost full of this blue ink, and the tint is good. I think the tint is good. So I thought maybe I could reuse this ink. Maybe I could make a similar wash as this gray one, but the blue one. What else to use? I also will use this Platinum Preppy, cool, cheap, budget, but really good fountain pen, because it also has a blue cartridge in it. Slightly different shade, slightly different hue. And I will put this diluted ink into this water brush, very simple. And also I have this Sakura jelly pen, so jelly pen for jellyfish, you know. So it will help me to bring some whites. Let's do it. So we're gonna use the syringe, this small tiny container, and let's extract the ink. So I'm just pulling it out. Yeah, it was very easy. Can we extract? I think we can. I hope you can see this. It's really hard to do on the camera, you know. So I want to extract as pure ink. Oh my god. That's why the paper towel is always a good idea. And you shouldn't rush because, you know, it will be very messy. So I want to extract as pure ink as possible to later dilute it with a certain amount of water to not make it too light. Can you see this mess? That's why I'm saying the paper towel is a must. Okay, I think I'm done. It is done. So I extracted as much dye as possible from this cartridge. Was it worth it? I don't know. I just don't have any blue inks at the moment. So, and I need this blue wash, and also I definitely don't want to waste any resources I have. so now what is next? I will slowly dilute this ink with the water until I get a decent shade of blue, something similar to this gray I have. On the camera it looks very dark, but in fact it creates these kind of tones. So Yeah, by the way, this is coffee. I spilled my coffee today in the morning, so now I'm thinking, can you draw using the coffee? Maybe next time. So let's refill this the brush pen. Now I need to be careful. You know, because the brush pen has a pretty big opening, so ink will definitely spill out. Almost 2 full syringes. So the feed inside of a brush pen still have some water, so it will need some time to actually starting paint blue. Can you see it? Like now it's starting to be blue. Can you see it? Very light blue, like very light, but it will get darker. And if you made it too dark, you can always add some water inside the container, you know, shake it out, and this is the way to fix your tone. As you can see, you can actually feel the big areas with almost like one color, and it's very smooth. It doesn't show much of a brush strokes, you know. Now I will just fast forward or make a time lapse of how I'm sketching, but it's actually nothing fancy, and I'm not doing a very detailed sketches because I just don't like it. It takes a lot of time, and also when I'm too much into the details of the sketch, I'm losing the natural feel, and it almost becomes like a lifeless. Alright, so I decided to skip the whole sketching part because it was I don't know, just boring and barely visible on the camera. So instead, let's jump right into the line art. Again, nothing fancy. I'm using the Sailor Fude fountain pen. It is a new tool for me, but I'm really happy how it works because it can create a thin or thick lines. It depends on the angle. Nice tool. In the line art, I always trying to support the 3D form of a subject. Also looking for like dynamic of the line, how exactly it curves, where to put more details and where to keep it simple. I also kind of thinking about the shadows already. I just paint some areas with acrylic black and keep some lines thicker, especially the ones which are facing downward. And now it's time for the diluted wash ink. Again, nothing fancy, I'm just painting the mid-tone areas with this mid-tone gray. That's all. As you can see, I kept the upward facing part, not painted to the very edge, because I just like how it looks. Creates a nice effect of a glossy surface, a glossy material. Again, basically nothing fancy, you just putting the color where you see the darkest spots on the sketch. So I'm just looking on the reference and trying to reproduce what I'm seeing. Sorry, it sounds like a stupid advice or stupid tutorial, but still, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just putting a color where I see the dark tone on this jellyfish. So the ink is very liquid, so it gives you a little bit of time to mess around, almost like a watercolor. to fix the borders, you know, the edges, stuff like that. But this is not a watercolor paper, so again, it's not supposed to be used like so, like this. So you don't have like a lot of time, just like a couple of seconds, I guess. You know, and you can use the smudge technique as well to spread it around and create kind of a gradient. A little bit of gradient. So I'm trying to recreate this aerial kind of feeling of these creatures. Also, when I'm drawing, I'm kind of trying to imagine them to swimming or to floating in the ocean, like the real motion, how they move and how those tentacles, you know, sways around. It kind of helped me to keep this natural fluidity of the lines a little bit. So working with the references, it's not always a good idea to just copy what you're seeing, you know, all the spots and stuff like that. Not all the references are actually that good. Yeah, I think that's okay. It looks fine to me. And when you're drawing something very glossy or glowing inside, it's actually a good idea to keep a little bit of a margin, a little bit of a white outline, so your color isn't actually touching the outline, touching the line art. I think it helps to sell the idea of a glossy or shiny material. And also with these lines I'm going over these white spots, so it creates an illusion of depth, I guess. So basically like they are behind these like round structures, they are behind the surface details. So that might help. But actually Jellyfish is much more tricky to render compared to the birds, because birds is just, you know, your typical material or shading or whatever, and this one is much more trickier. So I'm not, but yeah, that's the whole process. So as you can see, nothing too fancy, you just keep drawing, I guess. We'll see how it goes. This pen have an extra fine nib, so sometimes I have to go like a couple of times to get a thicker line. And here I'm making a huge mistake drawing this line across the tentacle. So basically the tentacle, it looks like it's on the back of the jellyfish. So I'm really confused and thinking how to fix that problem. So I just decided to hatch it, and it kind of fixed the problem. But okay, so I finished the first page, and after that I decided to get a lunch, because, you know, sometimes it's really hard to tell if your drawing is good or not right away. So you need some time to, you know, basically take a fresh look. I think it turns out pretty cool. This blue works. I thought it's too light, but no, I think it looks cool. So yeah, I was pretty happy, so I treated myself with this the chocolate bar. and I think it's time to move on. And I already did like sketches for the second page. You probably again barely can see them. Can I just zoom in somehow to show it better? Yeah, I think so. So this is the sketches. They are pretty light, nothing fancy, as you can tell. I will start with the wash. It will have a little bit of time to dry out, and after that drawing with this ink over should not be a problem. So again, very simple. We just repeating what we see, I guess. So what I see is actually this beautiful dome. Oh, this one actually turned out to be darker. Maybe the ink is actually flows differently or dissolved better. Who knows? Again, I'm not touching the very edge because I would like to create like this effect of I don't know, just a reflective surface, you know, on the edge. The ink feels very wet, so I just will spread it with the finger to create a little bit of a gradient, because you know the transitions on the reference feels very soft, so it will help to create this kind of effect, I think. Okay, yeah, now again, as you can see, I'm drawing these kind of lines. They are actually on the reference, but also they helping me to kind of support this three-dimensional feeling, almost like a topology lines. Yeah, definitely this blue got darker, I guess. Also, the shape, the form is actually bends over inside of a jellyfish. Yeah, I tried to film the process of like drawing this one, but something happened in the middle, so okay, let's continue. This is actually finished drawing, the finished page, so I think my little research is done. It was quite fun. I learned some things about the jellyfish, and also it was a good exercise and, you know, practice for drawing using this diluted ink. So I tried to capture the whole process on one of these jellyfish, but something happened. I don't know exactly what, but something interrupted my, you know, recording process. Let me zoom in. I actually added more blue here to kind of enforcing or suggesting the depths better. I also kind of tried to use these dots, you know, going on over the shape of a jellyfish. So I'm basically trying to follow these topology wireframe if possible. The very same thing is on these like lines, you know, hatching. So it really helps to sell the shape, the form. I think this one is my favorite. It's simple. It has these like small, like tiny, subtle gradients, and also the shading of the dome and the fluidity of the tentacles. I think it's cool. These kind of frames are also cool, like how it moves. Let me know which one is your favorite. And I hope this video was a little bit educating, or at least entertainment for you. So thanks for watching, subscribe if you want, and see you next time. Bye bye.